Well, she's landed in the backyard along with the rest of them. Well, hello everyone. Another little snippet for you this evening. We've took delivery of some parts for the Nuffields. Managed to get a reproduction PTO guard. We've got a couple of toolboxes like gold dust, even second-hand bent things on eBay go for big money, so I just thought I may as well buy new ones, it's easier. We've got a couple of drawbar pins, single light bracket because the universal only has the one on the right hand side, and we've got some chains and teardrop washers, I call them, that secure the pins. And the chief of security's arrived. Hello, you're never far away, are you? So whenever I paint new steel with like the mill scale on, or you know, this kind of, it's just too smooth and it never lasts. So what my idea is, we're going to give them just a little quick sandblast just to rough them up, etch them, so as the paint will stick to them. You know, painting's not my favourite thing to do, and I don't like having to do it twice. Now, this is for the universal, the earlier one, and this is for the 1060, and the difference is these little brackets here, because on a universal, the number plate or license plate, if you're watching in America, goes up over the plough light. I'll insert a picture for you here. And then on the later 1060 and the little 3-cylinder 1042 model, they changed the number plate location so as it bolts through here and hinges, so as you can have it, basically the number plate sits here, or you can lift it up. I don't know what the idea of lifting it up is, because like obviously if you lift it up it's going to be in the way for opening the lid, and there's no benefit of it being up as to down anyway. That's how it goes. So it has these little brackets on the side for a 1060 and a 1042. Old pussycat. You'll soon run off when we start that generator up and get the sandblaster hissing. Anyway, that is this evening's little project. Just get these sandblasted. I know that's painted already, but I never like this primer they send them in. It's just, you can feel there's still like, there's roughness to it. So I know it's not a sports car, but I like to put my own paint on, then I know how good it is. Like, you know, it's probably just cheap paint that they use here. So that's this evening's little project. So we'll go and get it loaded into the blasting cabinet and then fire up the big generator for some electric for the compressor. Here we are at the powerhouse. Just see if we can put a light on. There we go, flash. And it acts as a torch for me. That light's on the battery, 12 volts. This is a 6-cylinder Lister FR6. And we've had this, oh God, well over 35 years. It came from the Promenade Hospital at Southport. That's in the northwest of England if you're watching this from abroad. It's now trendy apartments. And years ago, there was two of these, just kick the bucket, yeah. There was 2 of these in the basement. And we when it was closed as a hospital for a few years and it was getting converted to apartments, we ended up with these coming through work, so we kept this one and sold the other one. The other one, this is a 6-cylinder, the other one was a 4-cylinder, and it got sold to a nursery place that, you know, grows plants and that. They had it for a long time until they retired recently, and then we got offered it back again, but we didn't need it, so we didn't take it back. But we could have bought it back and had the pair again, but anyway, it's gone now, so we don't really need it. I do have a 4-cylinder version of this, but it's a stationary engine with a clutch, a Rockford clutch and a big pulley on it. So we have a 4-cylinder version already. So this has been a really good provider of power that runs all our operation here. It beats paying for 3-phase electric supply with standing charges and whatnot, variable prices and that. So it's got its original Lister switchgear. It's nice and original. It's got original transfers still on it. Start and the stop. FR diesel engine. You can still make out the original Lister logo there. Lister here, there. Cast into the rocker covers. Even the Bakelite caps that hold the rocker covers on have got Lister in them, and there's the tag for the size of it. It's 48 horsepower. It's running a diesel tank from a lorry. We have the pump that comes down here, round into the transfer pump, and then the pickup pipe goes through a hole here, and then we just have a barrel at the side for filling it up with diesel. It's even got Lister in all the clocks, which is good. It's all original, the original switchgear. It's what keeps the job going. I found this actually on the internet. So if you want to pause and read it, you can do. Although the flash is doing the light there, so I'll not. Oh yeah, and now you can't see it at all. And then the guy who designed them was Mr. Morris. So I found this was in a magazine, so I just photocopied it and I thought I'd put it on the wall with it. Little tribute to him. He's probably no longer with, well, he's definitely no longer with us. But his engine and his design still is, and still doing its thing. Right. The decompression levers are up. We've got oil on the stick. Got some funky looking coolant in there. Actually, it's been in there a long time. And whoops, stand on the bucket of tar with the technical dipstick, the hole in the tank. And you hold it to there. We've got, I don't know if you can see that, but oh no, there, yeah, that's where the level of the tank is roughly. So we've got more than enough diesel, that'll last for ages. And for all however many years old it is, yeah, that's in the start position. Levers are up, coolant, diesel, oil. We'll hit the start button and she should fire up. Here we are now back over at the blasting cabinet. You've seen this in previous videos. Lights, extractor, got oil on the stick, the drain cock's open, so I always like drain it. So we'll throw the decompressors over and then watch the lights dim. Just popped into work one evening. I can make as much overspray as I want in here, doesn't matter. We've got the pins there hanging up. I'm spraying on the box of copper there, but it doesn't matter. We've got the toolboxes in primer. We've got some reg plates or license plates depending on where you are in primer. A lamp bracket, and we've got the linkage chains dangling with some Fordson bits from a while ago. And some Alice Charmer bits, and some Fordson E27M bits, and some McCormick Deering bits. So we'll let that dry, and it's Sunday tomorrow, so we'll pop back into work and give them a flash of Nuffield orange. So it's a nice evening tonight, Saturday. So we'll call it a night at that. Hello there. Well, it's Sunday evening. It's raining, so we can't really do much. We're just under a tree here. I've been rounding up all the little bits and pieces. I've got replacements of these with the little teardrop tab. That's the remains of it there. You can see bust off. See, it should be kind of like that, but I've got new ones of them, they haven't got painted. But down here on the stabilisers, well, I've took that one off just for measuring purposes. We've got the correct chains for here. That goes there. It mounts, the teardrop mounts under there. Then these hang freely. Just we're not going for a show standard, we're just putting everything back how it should be, and then when we come to use it, everything works. So obviously your linch pin goes on there. It anchors under that cotter pin, clevis pin, sorry. And then here, these are the wrong pins. You can see they're way too small. And then the little tab goes on the pins here. And I've got the sprung loaded clips that go over there. But when I ordered these, they were out of stock of the pins, so we're going to make some in the lathe instead. Wow. So that's a little project for this evening. We've been swapping, the previous owner had just put Allen bolts in everything, and I've gone right round it now. All the dashboard's all correct and working, everything works. Phillips head's back in how it should be, UNF thread. All the side panels are done. This is the proper horn. It's a Lucas horn. Just give it a black can restoration, black rattle can. So it's starting to get back to spec how it was. We've freed up the brake pedals because they weren't returning. Just give them a good greasing and oiling. All the lights on the back are sorted. So there's just this light to replace because it's not the right, it works but it's not the genuine light. I've painted the bracket for it at work. I just need to find a Lucas headlight. It does have these lines in like this, but it's just not the right style. That actually would have done for the 1060 or the 1042 as a plough light, because it's the right kind of bracket on the back of it. Too modern for this. We've tapped out the holes, ready to take a number, reg plate, license plate, quarter UNF, in case anyone needs to know that in the future. This side's all okay. So just got a jar on just to help keep water out the dipstick hole. So we're going in the shed. We're in a bit of a mess. We're just having the front of the garage rebuilt. The brickwork above the garage doors all collapsed, well, bulged. The lintel's gone rusty and it's all bulged. So here we are at the lathe. This is the part of the stabiliser. A little bit egged out, but not too bad. I've seen them a lot worse. And that would have been a 1/2 inch hole originally, so we found a bit of stock in our stockpile. We keep saving it from work. It's handy working in a scrapyard. All our little bits of brass, aluminium, steel. It's all little bits that come in handy. This is only part of it. We keep, in our town, we keep closing engineering firms down. We keep getting to clear them out, so save more than we scrap, because once it's gone you'll never see it again. Anyway, we've got focus. We're on 13mm there, near as damn it for 1/2 inch. So I've measured the hole in the little tab here. Find it. The whole, it's just a pin with a taper at one end, and it has a little bit of thread there, just enough to get a nut on. A nylock, it should be UNF, but I'm just going to use a metric one just because it's what I've got to hand without buying any. And I like to use drill bits as a gauge to measure holes like that, and I did measure it, and it's 6mm if I remember rightly. Need 3 hands. So £6 is a good fit there. It's probably, being honest, the Charnleys who supplied bits and pieces, I bet they only use metric nylocks, I'd have guessed, because they're just more available. They're easier to obtain. So anyway, we've just faced it off, so you a bit of old scrap steel. We'll turn it down to 6mm, throw a thread on it, part it off, put a taper on it, and then make another one. So we'll get cracking with that. Got a thread established, 6mm thread, turned it down to size. I couldn't be bothered altering, setting up for screw cutting just for a little thread that short. It's only like 10mm long. So to some people who've got a lathe, you know, it's easy, it's nothing special, but to people who are starting out, it's, you know, you pick things up as you go along. To get the die started squarely, you know, so you're not putting a crooked thread on like that, to get it straight, it's hard to do this and film at the same time. Could do with a camera person really, but I just put the die against the chuck with the jaws backed in so that it's parallel, and then just as I'm starting it, turn this and then turn the handle on the tailstock at the same time to keep even pressure so as it starts a nice straight thread. And then once you've got your thread established, one side's, it's not really focusing, one side's tapered to get going there, and the others, oh, can't really see. Yeah, anyway, you can put it on one way, flip it around and get that thread right up to the shoulder of the bolt there. I broke the edge on the corner of it before we started, and basically we're only doing this because you're out of stock of the pins, and it's only like an easy job, it's nothing really. But I suppose people like to see the lathe work. The videos with the lathing always seem to get more views, but you know, we're not in the business of being an influencer, we're just here to fix the tractors. So that's established. We can, you know, there's no measurements to this, I've just done it all by eye. Get a nut on that, a nylock nut, and then we'll work out how long it needs to be and part it off and put a little leading chamfer on, and that's one made. So just measuring here, this is a stabilizer. The shoulder's going to be flush with the top of the tube, like so. We don't want it sticking out too far because of catching on things, so I would say 1 3/4 inches, plenty long enough. We can establish a taper there just to guide it in. It's it'll be rosy. So roughly about there, so we can send it back in the chuck a bit, keep it near the chuck for accuracy. So we've got it wound back, zeroed the cutter, we're on 1 inch 750 thousandths or 1 3/4 inches. We're in imperial mode. You've got to keep watching that. When I first started out, I kept forgetting about metric and imperial. I kept skipping between the two, and I realised, oh, it's all gone wrong. Anyway, that's 1 3/4 inches from point A to point B, and because we're parting it, we're going to put some oil on it, and then we're going to try and drive the lathe with one hand and probably crash. We're going to 752, that's a bit much. Try that, and we're going to go crossfeed, tables locked, fire her up. There goes nothing. Rolling the chip up quite nice. Just a can off an aerosol to catch it in. Any second, there we go, jobs are golden. Okay, and there's our part, just got a little nib on it. We can put that back in the lathe and face that off. And then this will end up going through here like so. That'll stay. Get the chain. Filling this full of oil, I've got to paint this later. Get our nut on there. Put a little taper on there. It is a loose fit because there's wear on the holes. Originally it would have been a 1/2 inch hole, but it's egged out with years of use. So we'll just put it back in the lathe, put a taper on this end, face the nib off from parting. Come on. Face the nib off, put a little leading taper on it. Then make another one for fun. Well, I made my first pin, and that bit me in the back end. I made that M6 thread, and then I decided to go and find the clips. They just look like a pipe clamp, but they are actually what was used on them back in the day. Goes over, grips over this like so. Uh-oh, he's here. Hey you, what are you doing? Anyway, back to this. I made it M6 and the hole's only 5mm, and I don't really want to drill that out anymore because it's going to be too close to the edge. Where are you going? It's going to be too close to the edge, and it'll probably make them snap in half. They're not that brilliant anyway. You always find these broken off on the tractors anyway. So we'll put that one down to practice. I even put the taper on the end and everything. But to be fair, when I actually offered it in, it is a little bit on the short side, so I think I'll make them a bit longer. Hey puss. So we've had to go round 2, find an M5 die, and we'll have another go. I'll bring you back in a minute because I can't do this and thread that because I need both hands free. So I'll bring you back in a minute. Just before I start threading this is a setup, as I was describing earlier, to get the thread nice and straight so you're not starting a crooked thread. Tailstock, chuck jaws recessed, lock the tailstock, and then just as I'm threading it on, crank this to keep pressure, to keep it all moving forwards. But I can't do that and film at the same time, so you'll have to use your imagination there. I'll be back in a minute. Well, here we go, we've got our thread cut into it. Doesn't really like focusing with the light above. Anyway, we've got the thread on, and we've even found some M5 nuts out of all the odds and sods we've took off the tractor. All these Allen bolts and things are, you know, crazy. Anyway, them little nylocks are M5, so they're actually going back on it. Saves buying. Anyway, we've got the parting off tool there at the end. And we're going to go 2 1/4 inches. We're going to go significantly larger. So we'll just flicker into Imperial. 238, 253, bit too much, back it up. There we go, near enough, 2/10 over. 2/10, bit of, oh there you go, bit of play in the, anyway, that should go there, and then we'll part it off, try again. So we want to drop the gearbox again. Oh, turn. .380. Splash of oil. We're going crossfeed. Contact. See how that's just rolling that chip up nicely. Perfect settings. No squealing, no chatter. Captured again. In the aerosol cap. Any second. Usually has a little wobble before it drops. Okay, so after a lot of faffing about, this is how it should go. The teardrop washer, as I call them, should go under that clevis pin. The pin that anchors it to the tractor, the linch pin and the chain goes there. And then the like telescopic part of the stabilizer, that's the assembly, how it goes there. So if anybody's making these, to save them having to goof around like I've had to, really I should have measured a bit more, but I was just making it out my head. The pin is 2¼ inch long from the bottom of, from basically under the tin clip is 2¼ inches long, and then there's a 10mm portion of thread, and that's threaded at M5 to fit the clips, the pipe clips that are supplied by Charnley's or Tractor Spurs Limited. So I know it's a bit over the top all this, but it's just, it makes it right, and like, you know, eventually one day when it comes to go for sale, in a long time hopefully, people look at it, it's silly little things like that that make it right, because it was like all the lights and the conduit tube on the mud guards that drew me to it. So yeah, it'll be a nice whole thing when it's done. The paint's a little bit rough on it, like, but it's too good to rub it all down and start again. I've too many projects to be getting on with. So that's where we are up to now. But now we've just got to make another one, and we've got one for on the wall as a reminder to measure properly. There. So we'll get cracking with that. Well, it's Monday morning. We've come in and had a look at the finished product. Turned out quite nice. There's a couple of the pins and chains. That's the inside, like, obviously, and we've got the outside ones doing, they want turning over now. There's the other one, and like, just look at the floor, all that orange overspray. That's why I come to work and do it here. It doesn't matter about the mess here. The pile of lead. It's got a slight orange tinge in the copper boiler. But I can do me spray in here with the big door open for ventilation. Just spray it. Jobs are good, and keep the mess here. The light bracket there's come out alright, and some more chains there. I know it all seems a bit OTT, but it's just little things like that finish it off. They're always missing off it, and it's just little finishing touches that make it stand out from the crowd. So that's where we're up to. Gonna have to move them now because it's Monday morning. There'll be customers coming in soon, and I don't want it all knocking about, so I'll move them round the back and leave them to dry. It takes a good couple of days for that paint to dry, and to be honest, for a rattle can it's quite a good finish. That's what we're using. Kill the flash because it's blowing the picture out. Paint supplied by AP Online UK Tractor Parts, but a can and a half's done all these little bits, and it's got a good, to be honest, for a rattle can it's really got a good nozzle and a good fan on it. It's like a proper, it's as good as a spray gun. But there we go, that's that little job done. So we'll catch you on the next clip. Well, we've not been up to much this week. We've been busy working on the workshop. The brickwork above the red girder there, that's a new girder we've had to put in. The old girder had swelled with rust and it jacked the outer course of brickwork off, so rather than re-brick it, we've decided we're going to build it up this way and then do it with PVC plastic fascia. We've got the materials here ready. That's the old brickwork that's come off it. So we've took the outer course of brick down, put a new girder in, supported it all with acro props, and then I've made this steel frame, we've squared it all up. It's got a plate on the floor anchored to it, it's welded. Then our joiner friend Tommy has been round and done some timber work. We've burnt the bottom of the wood with the blow lamp. Apparently the Chinese do it, so we're told, and it stops the wood absorbing any more moisture. So when the doors are made, we'll get the grinder and cut the old garage door. We never really liked that. It was cold in winter, noisy when it was windy, and yeah, basically it's going rusty. It's had its day. Also, when we remove this, we'll gain a good 6 inches or so here, and that should be just enough to get the forklift in, and that'll make a world of difference for lifting stuff about, because there's 2 P6 Perkins P6 engines in there that need to come out, and they're right at the back of the garage. We've slowly built them up piece by piece in the back of the garage, which was a bit of a mistake really, but we could have got them out with the engine hoist. So there's been no tractor in for the last few days, because once we get the workshop sorted out and proper doors on it, we can get tidied up in there, and we'll actually have somewhere nice to work in winter out the weather, instead of being in shade tree mechanics. Just let that car go past. The trouble that we have is, like, we're at work all week, and then if it's a wet weekend, we've got to go to work for another weekend, for another week, until we get and see what the next weekend brings. So once the workshop's done, it'll be a whole game changer really. So that's what today's job's been. I think I'll end the video here, because I've got a few clips that I've glued together to make you a video this week, and yeah, I can't really show you any more because we've been on this job. So thanks for watching. We've picked up a few new subscribers, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next video. So long for now. Yeah, someone's, don't know, for some reason the camera went off. Someone's actually made this. It is a good copy, but they've used the lid off a socket set. It's quite ingenious really, but you know, I'm sure someone will be glad of it, but I've got a proper one for it. We've replaced the studs on the seat so we can hook the seat cushion on proper. These are all the pins I've took out of it. Someone's made that, but it's the wrong diameter. It's too loose a fit. And when you look at some of these, I don't know if that's going to show it. Look at the step in the back of that. That could well be an original. Well, that's a good one. You can see that. So these were well due for over changing. Imagine going bombing down the road with an implement on the back, and then that snapped and give way. It drops in the road. So that's the back end of it, looking rather smart. And then here we go, the Clarker Works has shown up again, never far away. So that's just a little bonus clip, because I said I was going earlier and now I am, because it's bedtime. So long for now, and thanks for watching.